How long gone? It's a big day. Lots of news to cover. I'm in South Carolina. I'm at Seabrook Island. Them jeans. What's good?
Seabrook Island. I am just in Glendale having a little MCT coffee, a little apple juice Magna. I'm sore as a bastard and very curious to see which big news stories of the day Chris Black feels like tackling.
Well, the launch of Smartless Mobile is number one, of course.
So you want to start at the top and work our way down in terms of geopolitical turmoil and civil wars.
Exactly.
Okay.
I want to start the civil war here is between podcasters, of course, and once again, Smartless has outfoxed us, and it seems to be they are launching their own Mint Mobile competitor.
Yeah, Smartless Mobile. And they launched it with there's a black and white video of the three Smartless hosts throwing the old pigskin around.
Yeah, it's cool that they threw it to the gay guy, and then he, of course, exclaims that hurt, which seems pretty like low-hanging fruit. But yeah, I wonder what the prices are going to look like. If it's good, I'll happily leave AT&T, and kind of switch on over.
I don't know if that's true, Chris. I don't know if that's true.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is. The video is a little bit of an A/B comp to their actual podcast where two straight guys throw it to a gay guy and make fun of him. And that's sort of...
that's kind of what their whole empire is built on.
Sort of half of what we do on this show as well. So, glass houses and all that. But it's an odd move to be like, you know what? We need to do more of ads for cell phone commercials.
Well, I think that I'm guessing...
that are now our own. I mean, obviously they're getting paid lots of money, but it's like at a certain point, bro.
I can't even blame them. I'm sure somebody came to...
Are they actors anymore? They've fully morphed into influencer / podcaster. And again, glass houses.
I would say businessman in this case, only because I think that this could actually... This honestly could work, which is even crazier to me.
Yeah,
but
I didn't know that there was such a market for discount mobile data service. I mean, obviously, when I was younger, I was a member of Boost Mobile Nation. Where you at? But it was sort of in the underground a little bit. It was on the fringes. Nobody was really too proud of it. You did it because it's all you could afford. The service was bad and the phones are bad, and that's what it is. But nowadays, now that everyone has an iPhone, even if it does have goofy-ass liquid glass on it, you got to figure out a way to spend $7 a month on your wireless.
What do you think is going to stop our society from caring about every move that Apple makes? Because I can't believe how many people in my life watch these dork conferences where they announce what they're going to do. I just can't. Who cares? Like, it's going to happen no matter what. You're not going to have a choice.
I think it feels similar to just like movies in general or music in general, where we really used to get excited. And it was exciting because every time Apple had a keynote, something monumental in technology did get announced. It'd be like, oh, here's the iPad. And you're like, what the fuck? Like there would be some legitimate innovation and exciting things to talk about. And then year after year, it's like we made the Mac Mini 16 gig instead of 12, and everyone's like, "Pretty okay, that's effective for
that's effective."
And then the Google the Apple Glass Pro Vision thing came out, and everyone's like, "Okay, another L." And now we've reached a little bit of an L thing. I think they're just sort of toeing the line until they come out with the new phone that will be a glass brick and then send us into full Futurama zone.
Wake me up when they put the chip in. When I can get the chip installed, that's when I'll start paying attention to these dorks. That's when I'm ready to go. That's the next step I'm looking to take from where we are now. No more of these baby steps.
We don't want Elon to put a chip in us because he scares the hoes. We want Tim Cook to put the chip in us. He scares the hoes, but then he's at least a gentleman about it.
Exactly. Also, need to recognize Emily Sundberg getting the selfie with Tim Cook on campus yesterday. I have to say, I didn't know he took selfies with women, so that's nice to see. That's nice to see.
He said, "Don't post this on Maine. I have a reputation."
I've got a whole thing I'm trying to kind of uphold out here.
So, are you saying that little Timmy's gay?
Yeah, I am saying that.
Okay.
I am saying that, but I do like I love the selfie with Tim Cook. I think it's pretty funny.
I mean, who better to run Apple than a gay guy, right?
I mean, yes.
When you really boil those peanuts down.
We should also friend of the show, Mark Guiducci, just got named the new editor-in-chief of Vanity Fair. The search is over.
Do you call him the Dooch?
He doesn't really give off that kind of energy, but maybe now somebody will, since you put it out there. But yeah, I mean, it's people thought it was going to be him, but it didn't. He's worked for Anna Wintour forever, so it made sense. They didn't have to go too far.
Okay, and I know that your name was sort of in the ring as well to run VF.
Yeah. My name was in the ring from one person who monetarily benefits from me, so it doesn't. I don't know if it really counts.
Look, we love you, Max, and Max is just doing his job. That's all it is. So
Max is just doing his job. I'm deeply unqualified, but I appreciate the vote of confidence.
I mean, now in 2025. To be the editor of a magazine, I'm more qualified than you are, just in terms of my years of event coordination and party planning and nightclub throwing.
That's true.
Step and repeat rentals and all those things, picking out which napkins we're going to do. That's what EICs do more so than anything, right?
I think there's a little more to it, but I think unfortunately that is at least half of it.
Well, I mean,
at least.
And that's not a knock. That's just a knock to society that we're in now that magazines don't exist anymore and it's just places for Bacardi to throw an event,
Well, I mean, they do exist or they wouldn't even have a party to throw, but I guess I see your point.
What came first,
I guess I see your point. Yeah,
the chicken or the egg? What came first, the September issue or the September issue party planning committee meeting budget proposal Q4?
Don't worry, my head is spinning.
Okay, yeah, and we're here in LA. ICE is fucking things up. Fuck ICE. Shout out to everyone on the front lines holding your ground. If there are real criminals who are dangerous to the world, we can put those people in jail. But, the children, the mothers, the people who have been contributing to society for decades, we do not need to lock those people up.
It is pretty wild. I mean,
goes without saying.
I like seeing people in motorcycle helmets throwing rocks at, Border Patrol SUVs. That does feel like a cool kind of throwback. No, it is.
That guy is going to be arrested in the next 24 hours, and he's done for.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah.
His whole life.
Absolutely. But I also saw a method I've never seen before during protesting, which is pretty inventive, actually, is kind of bringing a sledgehammer with you and destroying curbs to create large rocks to throw.
Oh.
And I was like, that is inventive, because so you're fucking up the curbs, which they're going to have to replace.
It's called urban excavation.
You're going to fuck up the curbs, they're going to have to re-pour, and you get a weapon to use against the enemy. That's genius.
Re-pour. Well, it's because in 2021, the government would put the pallets of bricks out for you to destroy the police cars, so then they could shoot people. And now they're like, look, budgets are a little tough right now. Times are tricky. So you guys are going to have to make your own bricks. Steal a sledge from Home Depot and start smashing. And I like the way you said they're going to have to re-pour. It was really, real Trail Boss edition Silverado black going on right there. We're going to have to re-pour all this. So, I can get my guy out on Wednesday for a quote, but no promise.
He's super busy right now. There's lots of curbs. It's fucking, because I'm in South Carolina, and I was at the gym yesterday, and every TV in the gym was tuned to Fox News, so I was kind of taking it all in, because that's rare for me.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really spinning this thing. It's almost impressive.
Yeah, I haven't watched Fox News in years, and then when we were on there with the whole Tapper thing, I could feel my body like being affected by just watching it, and you can't do anything. I used to be able to laugh, and now I just have to turn it off. It's psycho.
Luckily the sound wasn't on. It was just text, which makes it a little more tolerable. Sure. I think the sound on really pushes it.
It's a bunch of people talking about how JD Vance is a hunk.
I don't even think they believe that.
No, from Fox News to Red Scare, we're like, he's a good looking guy. He's a handsome, good guy. I think we should support him. He's awesome.
I've seen people make mistakes before. That wouldn't totally surprise me. All right, we have a guest today. Max Jolliffe, who I met in Jackson Hole, is a ultra marathoner, a runner. He did a documentary called King of Moab about him winning the Moab 240 race, and he's also basically from the same place Jason is. So we got a lot to we got a lot to cover here today.
Couple of Orange County bros, dead sober.
What time do you get up, Max? I feel like you've been up for a while.
No, well, I kind of slept. 6:30. I woke up. Yeah, kind of slept. I probably would have woken up earlier, but my dog had the shits in the middle of the night, so I had to get up at 2:30 in the morning, and then got woken up again at probably around 4. So
sure. The issues of pet ownership are.
Did you give your dog some human food for dinner last night, or is this all on their own?
Well, we always do, but yeah, I took them for a run yesterday, and we have this bowl of water outside that was probably sitting for a little bit too long, so I think she drank some of that nasty water yesterday, and then
That's too bad. Because I'm sure
some
she
of that
was
stagnant slop.
thirsty after the run.
Yeah.
Couldn't be stopped.
yeah, it's my fault. It's my fault.
Yeah. You're like, if I have to get up at 2:30,
I'm a piece of
at
shit.
least it's my fault.
Okay. Were you able to get the dog outside to do its business, or was there an indoor cleanup at 3 a.m?
No. We got outside. She's pretty good about like she'll just start oh shit, there's a fucking coyote out in my there's a she's pretty good about letting us know, like she'll kind of moan and whine when she needs to go out at night. So
she'll paw at the door a little bit.
Yeah, but she's definitely shit in the house a couple
Me have
times.
diarrhea. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
It sucks. And as they get older and the dementia kicks in and they're like, I forgot to tell you that I have to shit, that's when it gets real fun.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that's not for a while.
How long can these dogs run with you though? Like, have you like conditioned them?
Nah, not very far. I mean, they're golden retrievers, so they can run a little bit. I mean, probably would have been smart if I wanted a real dog to run with me, get like a Weimaraner or a Vizsla or something. Those dogs that can run 20 miles, no problem. But
Sure.
no, my dogs are good for maybe 4 or 5 miles tops, and then they're over it.
Hey, that's more than Jason. That's more than Jason.
Yeah.
So
That's more
not
than that 5 mile run for a dog. That's impressive, Those are big dogs.
Yeah.
Their knees,
Yeah.
That is I thought I took you for a crack of dawn riser, but I guess I maybe have been projecting.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think I'm like a super morning person. I do tend to get up kind of early. My girlfriend's, she wakes up like really early. She's a personal trainer, so she takes clients like before the workday starts. So she's always getting up
Sure.
early.
You got the 5:30.
She's got the 5:30 Barry's class. So like this morning she was up at 4:30. So like sometimes I'll wake up with her, but for the most part I'm like not.
You're an elite athlete, but you are an Orange County bro at the end of the day. Like you are going to be
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You got it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Babe, can you keep it down? I'm trying to catch some Z's. Yeah, I mean, 5:30 a.m. Barry's class, something I've actually done in my life that's the closest I've been to vomiting, probably exercising, just because of the time. It just fucks with your mind. It's too early. It's just too early. And I think the last time I did it was I took the 5:30 a.m. West Hollywood. It was taught by Barry himself.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Before he had retired, like the OG. And it was really funny because it was sort of like bad. You know what I mean? He's not advanced, and he played like only Madonna and the lights were on. It was like a totally different experience. But it was 5:30 is a tough time to start exercising.
Yeah, I can never really do running workouts like anything hard. It's not going to be in the morning. It's usually midday, afternoon. Once I'm like awake and going, but yeah, mornings are tough for me.
I mean, some people really. I think that once you get locked into the schedule, I get it. Especially if you have to work.
Some people thrive.
Yeah. I mean, working out after the day is over is crazy to me. I can't do that. I don't have it in me.
Yeah, I do see the part of like just get it over with in the morning and then you don't have to worry about it. But I'm working out all day long, like before in the morning, at lunchtime, after work. Like I'm running at all parts of the day, so I guess it doesn't really matter for me. But
okay, is there? I know that you have a history of tangling with drugs and substances, like all of us. But is there a moment in the day where you're like, all right, like a milestone, maybe a mile marker, if to put it in your language, where you're like, all right, all exercise is done, like after you eat dinner or like whatever it may be, it's like
that's usually around once it starts getting dark. I'm not really ever I mean, sometimes I'll run at night, but for the most part, my day's done once it starts to get dark. So eat dinner, then throw something on the TV, chill, and then I'll probably be passed out within an hour or two. So go
Mm-hmm.
to bed pretty early. But yeah, it's usually once it starts getting dark, I'm done. And may have ran once that day, or it could have been up to three times. So
So
yeah.
if we're running, hold on, just to understand, if we're running 3 times in one day, I imagine we're those are different types of running, different styles, different times, or is this
Yeah,
just
what does a
like?
three-piece look like to you? Break it down in miles.
Yeah.
Okay. So just to be clear, this is like a rare occasion when I'm like really deep into training for something like Cocodona, 250-mile race.
Yeah.
I'm trying to run as many miles as I possibly can. So
You're in album mode, as we say.
yeah, so
Yeah.
so it would be like something like the way I would break it up is maybe an hour before work, and like let's just say this is all fairly easy running, not super fast pace, just like focusing on getting as many miles as possible. So running chill and mellow, maybe an hour in the morning before work, then I go to work, and then luckily I live really close to my office, so on my lunch break I'll just jam home real quick and try to get like maybe another 4 or 5 miles. So at that point, I could maybe be 13 miles in for the day, and then run like another 10 to 12 miler once I get off work, which would put me at 20 something miles, 25 to 30
Yeah.
miles for a day. But when you're trying to run, let's say 120, 130, 150 miles a week, like you need to
Oh.
take every
Moment.
chance that you get to fill your day with running as much miles as possible, and it sucks. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean that does seem like that seems like a lot, because I also, and this is what I learned when I met you and on the
Yeah.
trip, is that most of you guys that are professional runners also have jobs. And I
Mhm.
think that the 150-mile a week thing is also quite time consuming. So I
Yeah.
fitting it in is sounds like a puzzle piece in itself.
You don't have much time to go to the club, is
Yeah.
what it sounds like, and that sucks. But
Yeah.
but like the what the type of running? I mean, like running in general. Unless you're Usain Bolt getting a Wheaties deal, it's not really like a way to get rich, right?
No, yeah. I mean, as far as like ultra running goes, which is like a fairly niche, I mean, maybe the most niche category of running, it's like
It's
there's one or two guys that maybe have, well, I actually don't know, but I would assume there's a handful of guys with six-figure contracts from, you have to assume Nike, Hoka.
Yeah.
or the good people at Satisfy. I'll ask you this then: you won Moab 240, which is the Super Bowl of ultra distance running, right?
I mean, I wouldn't
Maybe,
say
maybe
I
not.
wouldn't say it's the Super Bowl, but it's become like kind of a famous race. David Goggins famously writes about it in his book. There's been quite a few other big names that have ran and won the race, like Courtney Dauwalter. So it is a staple within at least the multi-day, like the 200-mile races. So it is a fairly
Mm-hmm.
popular one, but there's other races out there that are way more competitive and get way more attention, like Western States, UTMB. If I were to label a race as like the Super Bowl, it would probably be one of those two. But Moab is
Okay.
it's definitely a big race within the scene. Yeah.
How much money do you win for getting first place in Moab?
Exactly $0. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, my
Yeah.
case in point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, hence why most ultra runners, even on at the professional level, like need to have full-time jobs or other avenues to make a living, because it's just like a lot of the races, I mean, most of the races don't have any type of prize money. You're maybe relying on funds from sponsors, and then that's usually not enough, so you gotta either be a content creator or a coach. You see a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
within the ultra running space, they're like the pro runner slash coach, so that's like kind of the
Right.
pipeline of supporting
I
yourself.
mean, which could be argued as like kind of cheesy and lame, but I think it's cool that we're in a time where with some influencing, go on Instagram and sell some goo so I could keep doing what I love versus having to go,
Right.
work at Petco
Yeah.
40 hours a week and then try to run in between. So,
Also, coaching. I mean, if there's any other sport where you could be coached by a professional, for a reasonable price, I think it would be.
Yeah.
I think it would be quite a popular thing.
Yeah, I'll train you for goo. Actually, we'll work for goo.
Yeah, and no, who knows? Maybe I'll even go down that path at some point. I just still am kind of doing what I'm doing, towing the line with, working a full-time job, which I am fairly lucky that my job is somewhat chill and flexible and really close to where I live. So I'm able to pull it off now, but I'm getting to the point where it's like I need to either make a decision to really go all in on this whole running thing, and then maybe that I'll have, time to pick up a couple people as coach. Well, I need to get certified as a coach too, so that's like a whole nother thing. But
come on, I trust you. I trust you. We're good.
No,
We're
but
good.
I do think it is cool.
We're gonna make sure that you get a bunch of brand deals. We're gonna make sure you're all flush, ready to go. You could quit the job. You can still pop in, say hi to the guys, But
no, I mean that's
we're days away.
I think that realizing there's no prize money is kind of crazy because it's also like it doesn't seem like a super cheap thing to do based on what I saw in the documentary that you made.
Yeah, you got to come out of pocket several thousand, all the gear and drive out there in the van and get all the shit.
And luckily I have, a couple sponsors that cover me for a lot of those costs. Like Satisfy will pay for my entrance fee for these races, which for something like Moab, I think this next year, it's over $2,000 to run that race. So,
where the hell does this money go? I tell you what, it's not going in here. It's back in your pocket.
It's going to the people who run and own the races. That's where it's gone.
Interesting. So, so these races are profitable as businesses.
Yeah, or else they wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, what's the point?
Right.
But that's just an interesting thing to be like, we're not going to pay you, but we have to make money to keep this thing going, which is true.
Right.
We got to keep the trails clean.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean. But I got a crash course, so I feel like I really being around all the you guys were speaking a different language to me, kind of like I had to finally learn what stuff meant by the last day.
Do you have an example, Chris, of what a phrase or a term you're talking about?
He just said there's a race. It's UTMB. Is that it?
Yeah. Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc, which is it's a race organization. It's the biggest race organization. They're like a European race organization. They throw races all over the world. And the big main event is in Chamonix, France. The whole Satisfy team, we all go out there every year. It's awesome. It's epic, but they're like kind of the big corporate overlord of ultra running. And no, so some of the races, they do have prize money. I mean, is it maybe what it should be, for these athletes? I mean, some of these guys are out there like literally dying for what might seem like pennies, and then especially when you got like big billion-dollar brands like Hoka, Nike, Adidas, like they're all sponsoring.
Yeah, once they're involved,
can't they just kick down 20, 30, 50 grand for the top the podium finishers?
It also seems like if I'm Nike or Hoka or whoever, spending $50,000 or $100,000 is like then you own the fucking race. Then it's all
right.
You know what I mean? Then you can do whatever you want because no one's giving that much money. It just seems like an easy equation, but there must be more to it.
And to their credit, like most of the pro athletes, like anyone who's signed with one of those big brands, like they'll get like win bonuses and stuff. So some of the athletes do get compensated for big performances at those big races. But as far as like the prize money goes for a local California race here, it's just non-existent.
Yeah.
It's a backyard race. It's just a homegrown grassroots race where they're barely scraping by, able to put the thing on. So, yeah,
you win some cold brew at the end. Well, on the subject or on the topic of some of these guys literally almost killing themselves. What is your favorite hospital, and how often do you find yourself in one?
Yeah, let's rank the top 3 hospitals.
I feel like you have an acute grasp on hospitals.
Yeah, I think my number 1 will have to be Hoag Hospital, where I was born, and then
shout out to Hoag, Newport, bro.
Yeah. And then definitely the runner up would be the Flagstaff Hospital, which I was just recently in. That was a good time. Yeah.
They showed me a lot of
Does
love.
a hospital hate to see you coming?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like, so they see you and they're like, we need fluids. Is that the first thing that happens? Get them on a bag?
Yeah, fluid. I mean, it was fluids and taking my blood to run all the tests and diagnostics to figure out what exactly was wrong with me. But no, they were great people in there. I almost feel like they knew I was coming. But
They're watching the live stream of the race. They're like, all right, let's get a bed ready for this guy.
They're
This
like,
guy's
oh,
coming in. This guy's
Yeah,
coming
when you
too
go
hard.
This
to
guy's
the
fucked up.
like your local hospital is like your local bar. You walk in, they're like, "What up,
Good to see you, Max.
How
Nice to
doing?
see you again.
Good to see you, bro."
Yeah,
Okay, so when I saw you last, your ankles were blown up. You know, you were there. You hit Jason.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
a classic cankle issue going on, and it was causing him to. You couldn't run. I mean, you couldn't.
No, yeah.
You couldn't run.
Acute cankleitis.
Acute cankleitis is what the doctor called it. But did you figure out what the problem was?
Yeah, well, it was. I knew. I mean, we've known what.
Okay, you knew what the problem
Yeah,
was.
so
Running too much.
yeah, running too much. Yeah, no, I had gotten this cellulitis infection that got into like my tissue and my pretty much my shins, like the front part of my ankles, and yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking that maybe it was something else too, like compartment syndrome, because they do share a lot of the same symptoms, which I don't think it is compartment syndrome. I think it's just an infection that's taking a really long time to just clear out of my
heal.
body. And like I'm back to running. I think I maybe ran like 70 miles last week. So getting there, getting back into it. But I'm still like it's slowly getting better. Like I still have inflammation and swelling and like a little bit of pain. I have no pain when I run. It's more so like when I'm in the gym, if I'm doing a really deep lunge where my foot is like really flexed, I can feel it, the tightness in the front of my shins. But yeah, my resting heart rate is like finally almost back to baseline. My HR, and it's been over a month since.
Wait, this affects the resting heart rate?
Oh yeah. Well,
Oh.
I don't know if that was a cellulitis that was
Yeah,
messing
yeah.
with my heart rate, or if that was the rhabdo that I had, or if that was just like lingering sickness that I had, or if it was the swollen liver or the fluid in my like I don't know.
What is your resting heart rate? What do you want your resting heart rate to be as an elite athlete?
Well, I wouldn't really call myself elite, but
I will. What does your trainer/girlfriend shoot for in terms of your resting heart rate?
When it comes to the resting heart rate.
I think around 40 is usually good for me. Everyone's kind of different. I mean, there's people that get into like the low 30s.
Oof.
50s is great. I mean, everyone's different. I think resting heart rate is like it doesn't. I mean, it's
There's
like,
so many factors. Stress, anxiety, mental, body health.
I don't mean to brag, but last time I was in the hospital and they checked my resting heart rate, they did ask me kind of point blank, are you an athlete? And I had to tell them, no, not technically.
Chris, Oxycontin heart rate does not count. We're talking about clean resting heart rate.
You're dying. Yeah.
Oh, I got confused. I got confused. I'm sorry. That makes a lot more sense.
Purdue Pharma, baby.
Well, I guess speaking of of mild to severe opiates, we've had a few ultramarathon runners on the show. Members of Death Cab for Cutie, et cetera. They all seem to have a through line, which is, they had to use running to get clean. Do you know any other ultramarathon runners, people in your same zone that are not fully sober?
That are not fully sober? I mean, yeah, there are some, but I would say the majority of ultra runners that I know are either, sober just by lifestyle choice. I mean, it's hard to be an athlete and be partying and drinking and doing drugs and stuff. So most people are living a clean, healthy lifestyle, but there is like a large chunk of ex-addicts or people within recovery who find ultra running and just become obsessed with it. And
you can, out of my friend group, it's like, you can play poker or start doing 100-milers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it really boils down to like how much are you willing to quit smoking or not. It seems to be the catalyst for that. You're like, well,
true.
Look, I'll quit heroin. I'll quit, a bottle of Popov every morning.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
have my cigs, bro.
Running is like to me a form of therapy, and for people who need the therapy and are maybe extreme individuals, like ultra running is the most extreme form of this thing that gives you some sort of relief when it comes to alcoholism or drug addiction or whatever it is. Yeah.
But
Sure.
how did you, because I know it's not like a lifelong pursuit. It's in the last like 4 or 5 years, but how did you even fall into it? Did somebody just put you on? You were like, I love this?
Yeah, I just kind of stumbled into it by accident. I was, I got sober, got a job for the surf company. We had a skate park and, at the office in one of the warehouses. So I started skating again every day. And just skating every day, you're bound to get hurt. So I ended up breaking one of my ankles. And then, like, 6 months later, I broke my other ankle. So after that, I was like out for quite a long time and got really out of shape. Smoking a pack a day, eating fast food every meal, just ended up feeling like shit. And my roommate at the time, he was like really into going to the gym. He was like a bodybuilder. So I was like, dude, I'm just like, I feel like trash all the time. I can't really do anything. He's like, dude, just start coming to the gym with me, just lift, and yeah, you'll feel better. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Mhm.
So I start going to the gym. I'm lifting with
Quit
him.
being such a bitch.
Yeah,
Movement is
yeah,
medicine,
yeah.
bro.
Like quit complaining and fucking do something about it. So yeah, I started going to the gym with him. I wasn't like super into like trying to be a big jack buff bodybuilder guy, but I did end up finding that I really liked getting on the stair climber because I couldn't even run at this point on the treadmill. I do like the elliptical. The elliptical was kind of weird, so I just go on the stair climber and I like really like fell in love with doing cardio at the gym, and I'd go on the stair climber for let's say an hour, and then eventually I found myself just going to the gym to just do the cardio machines. And then after a while I was able to run, so I started running on the treadmill, and not too long after that I was like, why am I paying for a gym membership to just come here and run on the treadmill? Like I can just walk out my front door and just go for a run. So that was
Hmm.
kind of like my entry into running. And once I started running, I just wanted to push myself and try to progress as a runner. And I remember, I couldn't even run 5 miles when I first started running. So it was, every time I ran, I tried to run a little bit faster or a little bit further. And eventually I do a 10-mile run. And I'm like, oh, that's like almost a half marathon. I could probably train for a marathon. And started training for a marathon, did like a little training plan, and ran my first marathon in 2019. And then the rest is kind of history. Just signing up for another marathon and then another marathon. And then I hear about like ultra races and like, oh, you can do trail runs on mountains and they're like even longer than marathons. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll do this 50K up in, Palisades, Tahoe, and did that race. And I was like, this is what I'm into. And ever since then it's kind of just been all
Light little
ultras.
50K.
A
Yeah.
little light 50 piece.
Well, and then I just kept doing the same thing with ultras where I'd run a 50K and I'd go, that was sick. Maybe I can do 50 miles. And then
Mhm.
It's kind of the right way to look at it, because I think you can. I mean, you clearly have. Like if if you can
right.
do this, then you probably can do the next step. It's just going to take
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
work. In the documentary, there's a scene of you on the Stairmaster. There's like a whole portion of you on the
Hmm.
Stairmaster, and then I remember
I still love it.
Stairmaster is your love language, and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
he has a Stairmaster in his garage, and you're saying you'll do 2 or 3 hours on the Stairmaster
Sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
at max speed.
Yeah. Yeah. I cranked that thing all the way up and running pretty much run on the stair climb. I honestly wish it went faster because it's like almost close enough to run on, but it's like a slow jog. So yeah, I'll do that thing for, an hour, sometimes two, up to even.
Have you considered consulting like an engineer of some kind to modify the Stairmaster
Take the
to
governor
get
off.
take the
Yeah.
governor off that bitch?
Yeah, well, the company Stepper, the
We're in
company
talks
that
with
that makes
Stepper.
the stair climber. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm talking with them. They have another model that's got bigger steps. It goes faster, so they're working on getting me an upgrade. But yeah,
So when you're maxing out the stair climber in the garage, sweating like a whore in church, 2-3 hours, what's the calories burned?
I don't exactly know because there's not like a very. I know there is a calorie integration on there. Let's just say it's
I
probably
know you got the Garmin on. Let's ballpark it.
yeah, it's like 1,000 to 1,200. Like let's just say 1,000 to 1,500 calories per hour. So 3 hours would be 4,500 calories, and like multiple liters of fluid loss per hour. So Yeah, it's quite a workout. I mean, if you've never done a stair climber session, I suggest trying one because it will beat your ass in the best
Well,
way.
but I've noticed it's funny. I've noticed in the last couple years, or at least the last year, that at Equinox, like a lot of men are on the stair climber. That used to be
Hmm.
only women trying to get an ass. That was the only use
Yeah.
for the stairmaster, and now I see a lot of men on it, way more than
Yeah,
before.
well, if you think about it, I mean, especially if you're like a bigger dude, it's like the best way to get like some serious cardio with next to no impact on your legs. Like,
Mm,
there's no running; you're just stepping up each step. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
you're not pounding on your legs at all, and it's like crazy, crazy cardio. So I think I mean, I really think it's like one of the best workouts out there is to just climb upstairs and yeah, when you're training for races up in the mountains, like getting vertical gain training, just
mm.
that vert in your legs, like the stair climber is really convenient and easy way for me to just like get my legs strong for climbing. And there's local trails too, so I try not to just strictly get my vert on the stair climber. So I do mix it up, but it
Mm.
is nice to have just right at home. There's no excuse
Yeah, for
to
sure.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, actually, on
right.
that subject, I had a question. Do you think that running downhill is less enjoyable than running on flat ground, or maybe a slight incline?
Um,
You know, it can be a lot more impactful on the knees going downhill or going downstairs than going up.
Oh, for sure. And like I feel like at least the injuries that I've gotten in the past were from just hammering downhill really hard. And in trail running, it is I mean it is nice to run downhill, especially on trails. It's just a lot more engaging rather than like running on a flat boring road. Like you don't really have to worry about or focus on your footwork. Whereas running downhill on a trail is like very like a lot more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
Jason,
lock
this is
in.
something. This is something I learned in Jackson Hole, that running downhill is you have to fully concentrate so you
Yeah.
don't really hurt yourself. So you can't. I couldn't reach
There's
Nirvana.
gopher holes and rocks and slippery
Yeah.
dust, and there's an ankle being rolled around every
I
step.
couldn't levitate the way I was too focused, I would say, on maintaining my
Yeah.
balance.
So there
Sure,
is a
sure,
lot
sure.
more risk of injury
That's why you're a
when
bitch.
running downhill. Yeah.
Oh, actually, and on that subject, a lot of people talk about like walking backwards as like a way to like,
Yeah.
restore the knee health and all that stuff. Is it illegal to run backwards or walk backwards in a race, or is that allowed?
No, that's fully allowed for
Sick.
all
Bro,
I
these
know.
motherfuckers are crawling. They're I mean
Yeah.
they can't you can't they don't give
Just
a
roll
shit
me
how
down
you
the
get
hill, bitch. Roll me down the
there. Yeah,
hill.
however you get there, we're happy that you are alive and you
Okay,
finished.
but you
Yeah.
don't really see a lot of guys going backwards
No,
down the hill or
well,
anything like that.
yeah. No, not
He's like,
Not super efficient
actually,
in
no,
terms
I've
of
never
the
seen anyone do
finishing
that.
time.
yeah.
I did.
Okay.
So making the doc, I guess this was, you just were like, I want to do this, right? And you paid for it, and you did it with a director friend of yours, and that was the plan.
I actually had my friend Tyler Walter, the guy who directed it. He actually reached out to me when I had signed up for Moab and I posted it, and I didn't even know him at the time. And he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, I saw you signed up for Moab. Like, I'd love to do a project and document the race. If you're interested." And I was like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." And we just kind of went from there. And me and him, grounded our money together, and we were able to kind of self fund the project. And yeah, it was just kind of came together really, really nicely.
Like, so when you're out there, is there only one camera with you when you're like on the trail?
So the rules for that race were you were allowed to film within, I think it was a mile before and a mile after each aid station. So
Oh, I
they
see.
couldn't just
Okay,
like go
okay.
out into any random part of the race. So there were certain spots along the way where they were able to film, and it was Tyler and his director of photography, Cole Becker, who's another amazing filmmaker, and it was those two guys that were just following me and the rest of the crew the entire race, just documenting. Yeah.
Yeah. God, I mean, I was wondering how extreme they got, if they were out there in the middle of the night on day 3, but it sounds like they're not allowed.
Oh, they were.
They were.
They were. Yeah, they were. I mean, nobody slept. None of my crew slept. I don't think so it was, yeah, it was definitely a tough job for them. So just props to those dudes for
Except for the guy in the van with the drone, he was chill, but everyone else they were going through
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Well, actually, speaking of sleep, after you finish, 200 miler, is your body so in shock that you can't even sleep even if you
Yeah,
wanted to? Like, how does that? I've always wondered about that. You're not able to crash out, right?
Yeah, you would assume that after being up for, 3 days straight, running for, hundreds and hundreds of miles, you'd think you'd finish and just immediately fall out. But you're exactly what you said. Your body's just in so much shock, and your cortisol's high, and everything hurts and you're sore. Like I didn't get even a 4 or 5 hour night of sleep until probably a week after that race.
Shit.
It's a lot of dozing off for an hour or two and then waking up and being up. And yeah, same thing with Cocodona. I mean, the Cocodona, this last race that I did, was almost worse than definitely worse in every aspect than Moab. So yeah, it was it's brutal. Running these races is not a healthy thing to do. It's like at every corner it's just terrible for you.
every turn it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, exactly.
And is there, and there's not really anything you can do to try to get that sleep other than just drink a lot of fluids, eat well, and rest, and just wait for time to
exactly. Yeah.
Well, in terms of recovery, Chris and I will use our little Normatec legs every once in a while when we had a good day doing our little kettlebell squats. Do you have like extra gnarly leg compression or like recovery tools that civilians don't have access to yet?
No, not really. I do have an old pair of the Normatec legs, which I enjoy doing. They actually have a hip attachment, which is really nice. It squeezes your kind of your upper, your hips and your upper quads. Dude, the thing squeezes so hard. Like I almost
really, I've heard good.
I almost can't even do it at the highest setting. The legs, I just crank up to the highest setting, and I'm fine.
Yeah.
But the hips,
my brother said the same.
Yeah,
my brother, his girlfriend has one, and he's like, I do a 10 on the legs, and the hip, I'm like 2 or 3, and I'm starting to cry.
Yeah,
I need to get that. I need to get going. Get my little fat ass squeezed.
Yeah. So I do that, and then I have this this massage roller thing that's actually kind of nice. It's called a Go Chirp. So it's kind of like a massage roller that you just have to look it up. It's like this.
You said a Go Chirp?
Yeah, Go Chirp. So
I see it.
It's like this rolling massage roller thing. It's really nice.
You roll it on your quads and
stuff,
right?
Or your calves, or you can set it in the stand. And I really like doing my feet, which feels really nice. Putting my feet on that thing. And then I go to a physical therapist 1 to 2 times a week called Range Sports Therapy, which is local here in Costa Mesa, Newport area. And Dr. G, they got all kinds of high tech stuff like hyperbaric chamber and acoustic therapy and magnet therapy, all kinds of crazy gadgets that are probably way too expensive for just your average person to have. But I do have access to some pretty trick recovery stuff. Yeah.
I need to go see Dr. T. I didn't
Dr.
even know
G.
what
G.
Dr. G.
Yeah.
You said magnet, and then the other one was like
acoustic.
Acoustic? What does that mean?
So it's this like kind of gun, like it looks like almost a big pen. It's like this gun thing where it makes this clicking or tapping sound, and it's shooting like it's like a compressed air thing. So it just like kind of shoots this
like sonar.
Yeah, but it's it just feels like a tapping that really like gets deep into your tissues and stuff. So it just loosens everything up, breaks up scar tissue, and increases blood flow. So that's like a really rad tool that they use over there. And then like all kinds of like electro stim. I forget the names of all these things.
Bro, you don't gotta worry about that. You just do it. It don't matter.
Just do it.
Okay, how long can you go in the cold plunge?
How cold is the cold plunge?
Oh, touche.
That's the question. I like doing around 40 degrees for 3 minutes. That's usually what I feel like is nice. But yeah, if it's 50, I can probably do 5 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. But I like the 3 minutes at 40 degrees. It's kind of the sweet spot for me.
I said that. I think I told the story, but I couldn't do it until Max walked me through it.
Actually could.
I
Yeah,
never
you
spent.
actually could.
I know. I never spent 3 minutes in a cold plunge, and we did it 3 times after. And I was. It really is.
Having a helper is absolutely necessary, because if it's just you
It's all
holding yourself
mental.
accountable, you're like, fuck this. I'm out of
We
here.
know how that goes with me. Yeah, we know how that goes. We know how that goes.
When you're on one of these long runs, obviously mentally and physically taxing, do you ever find yourself just like crying? Like, how much crying happens on a long run?
Yeah, I mean, you do have crazy waves of emotion that come over you, and usually for me, it's if I'm like doing really well in a race and I'm maybe out front or I know I'm gonna win, like that's maybe when I'll get flooded with some happy emotions, but never really in like the other direction where I'm crying because just in so much pain. It's like I'm in
Great.
that situation, I'm more so just like trying to focus and dig deep and not let maybe those emotions come over me, especially when everything's going wrong. But yeah, it is a crazy roller coaster of emotions running, 100 or 200 mile route, or even a marathon. You can get emotional. So yeah, I don't know what it is about endurance sports, but it puts you in a place where your senses and maybe emotions are a little bit elevated.
Yeah, I mean, if it seems like this, the type of crying that people describe, or you see in a movie when somebody, literally meets God,
Yeah.
and you see the beauty of spiritual afterlife, and you can't
Right.
help but cry. It seems like that's the similar vibe when you're like, oh shit, I'm about to win this thing.
Yeah, yeah, and you're running, probably in one of the most beautiful places you've ever been. Like that's kind of half the reason why ultra or trail runners will, do a race is to see and experience like just a really beautiful landscape. And like Moab, Utah is one of the most beautiful places you can go in the world. And same with like Cocodona in Arizona. It's like you're running through Sedona. It's like everything is
Yeah.
like half the reason why we do these races is to experience the beauty out in nature. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way tennis is like everything's in Florida or Monaco is because the weather's great and somebody established a school there, long enough ago where it just happens. But
Yeah.
Arizona is a place I just haven't thought much about. So I was surprised. I don't really know what goes on there.
Yeah. And it's just like the weather. I mean, it gets really hot, but year round you can run in Arizona. It's not really there's no really serious or harsh winter in Arizona. It's just you can run in January and December, or you can run in
That's why that's why they put the jails outside. It's because it's so temperate, like the climate is so good.
You only need a windbreaker. That's all when you come out to the yard.
Good. Yeah.
Put a little light shell on.
I want to talk to you about AirPod battery life. Do you have multiple pairs of AirPods? Do you have a system
Wired.
for keeping the battery?
Wired.
Okay, we're wired.
Gotta go wired. Yeah, at least for a lot of the races that I'm doing, it's, I'm out there for 15, 20, 60 hours. AirPods are just not ever gonna last long enough. So yeah, I just run the wired headphones for races.
Is it the regular Apple ones, or do you have a special brand?
Yeah, I have some Skull Candy ones and I have some Apple ones. The Apple like the hard ones kind of hurt my ears after a while, so I kind of need the little soft.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know what you call that, but
the rubber tip.
Yeah, I rock wired headphones. You don't got to worry about the battery dying. Yeah.
Okay. Smart.
How often do you listen to music when you're training? You don't listen to it when you're racing, or do you?
No, I usually like Moab. I didn't listen to one single minute of music the entire race.
It was all podcasts.
Yeah.
All podcasts.
No podcast either,
bro. I listened to 60 hours of Theo Vaughn. I think that's why I won.
Okay. Yeah. No, but yeah, I did listen to a little bit of music during Cocodona, maybe a couple hours worth. But I usually don't listen to music a lot during races. Just a lot of the time, it's like you want to be able to hear if there's a rattlesnake you're about to step on, so you don't want music blasting in your headphones and have that happen.
But is it also considered a bitch move to do it with music? Like do the real top heads do it, like raw dogging a flight? Is it that same kind of logic?
Yeah. I mean, maybe there's some people out there who might think that. I'm all for do whatever you want. It's going to make you more comfortable. And music is a performance enhancing drug sometimes. So like, fucking use that shit.
See, this is what I was gonna ask those, because I think that music spikes. Like I don't. I feel like it could fuck up your pacing a little bit if you have. You know what I'm saying? Because if it,
Yeah.
depending on the playlist or the songs,
Get you a little bit too hyped, a little bit too early on in the race.
exactly,
But
exactly.
yeah.
Or that Phoebe Bridgers song comes on and ruins your PR for that mile. You know what I mean? It's a slippery
You get a
slope.
little too slow.
God damn it! The Cat Power playlist came on. This isn't
The
looking
sword
good for
has
me.
two sides to the blade, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, I know there are some races out there where they don't even allow you to listen to music. So, and that might be for like, I don't, whatever reason. Maybe they want it to be more difficult, or they just want you to be able to hear officials or people in the aid stations better. Yeah. So every race has different kinds of rules. Some races allow you to use poles. Some races they say you can't use poles. So ultra running is just like there's a lot of different rules, and it kind of just depends on race to race who allows what.
Yeah. I mean,
How do you feel about the polls?
I like using poles if it's a really steep kind of race, especially mountain races. Like poles are a game changer, and they help you move uphill so much faster, and they really take a lot of the load off your legs and save your legs during a race. But a lot of times in something that's maybe a little bit flatter or faster, I don't want extra poles that I'm like, it's just another thing that I have to
shit
carry,
on you,
which
yeah.
is it, worth me carrying the poles for 100 miles if I really only need them for a couple sections? So, yeah, it is kind of a delicate balance. Like, do I need the poles or do I not need them? And usually for me, if it's a race over 100 miles and it has more than 20,000 feet of vertical gain, I'll probably have the poles and use them for certain sections. But yeah, I'm a fan of poles. I'm not like a anti-pole guy.
Good. I like it.
Look, bro, I'm not anti-pole. I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just on the subject of people saying you look like a bitch if you're listening to music on the run. I could see there being a group of people who are also looking down upon pole users, right?
Yeah. There are those people out there. Yeah.
The purists, Jason.
They call them the sissy sticks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. I knew there had to be a good nickname.
And those are the same people that would like tease you for not putting vodka in your beer bong shot and call you a pussy for only drinking 12 beers instead of 50.
It's the same guy.
It's like, dude, I'm fine with this. Actually, I'm fine with it. Give me my sissy sticks. I'm all set.
You are from Orange County. I want to know what your Del Taco order is.
Ooh.
Just from bro to bro.
Del Taco order, probably. Oh, what is the
Take your time.
Del Combo Burrito Bold? If you know what bold is.
Of course, my man's going bold.
They put French fries in this creamy sauce in it. I don't even know if they still do it, but
they do.
The Del Combo Burrito, Del Taco French fries are banging. So probably just a burrito and some French fries.
Fries well done is a good move too.
I didn't know they had fries there. Excuse my ignorance, but I didn't.
Del Taco actually has a fire burger too. It's probably one of the most slept on burgers within the fast food industry. It's actually really good.
I agree.
One of the most slept on.
We were doing a podcast like a few weeks ago with a girl, and she said that Del Taco is rated the #1 fast food chain in America for customer satisfaction.
That's right.
Don't sleep on the Del. But you said during the less healthy years of your life, you were eating a lot of fast food. What was your go-to, though, if it wasn't Del?
I mean, I'm just a classic McDonald's guy, man. They just know how to do it. They've invested billions into figuring out what is the tastiest concoction for a burger or a soda or a French fry. So yeah,
just a fry.
I think I got to go with the King Mickey D's.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, but you don't have like a crazy diet, right? Because you have to just like, you're expelling so much that you have to just eat.
Yeah. I mean, during races, we eat probably the worst diet you could ever eat. I mean, it's all candy and soda and sports drinks and donuts and pizza. It's just like high calorie, super just sugary foods that you want. It's just, you want the most energy that you can get, and that's usually just junk food. So I guess it's okay to use during a race, but if you're just only consuming that food for your entire life, like, you're probably going to have some problems. But for the most part, I try to eat clean. Make most of the meals at home. My girlfriend cooks a lot, so it's great. But yeah, we usually try to avoid processed foods. Try to eat whole natural foods, fruits, vegetables.
Kylie lifestyle, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
Get those fucking seed oils out of here. Have a dope ass bison burger with some fried eggs.
That's what. But that's what I was so. That's what I was so. I was like, these motherfuckers are eating, and I was like, yeah, it makes sense. They just ran 18 miles. Like they're hungry, and they're gonna keep being hungry.
Calories in, calories out.
Calories in, calories out. Yeah.
He lost 4,500 on the treadie. That's a lot of fucking Dell French fries, bro.
I think there's also, I think that, and we've talked about this a few times on the show with different guests, but there's like carbohydrates have kind of been given a bad rap, as far as like the diet goes. But I know that you guys use carbohydrates for like energy purposes. Right. How you look at it.
Yeah. Carbohydrates break down into glucose. That's the main form of energy that your body uses. So if you're, a runner, carbs are your main source of fuel, so you just got to eat as much carbs as possible.
Oh yeah, I'd be at breakfast watching these fucking bean poles eating like 6 pieces of toast with honey.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense. They need this.
Right. Jealous, Chris?
I'm very jealous. Yeah, actually. Yeah, thank you for noticing. Yeah, being the most out of shape guy somewhere was I needed that. I will say. I think I needed that.
It probably feels good, right, Chris?
It does. Yeah, it does feel good.
Yeah, on a race day, how much sodium do you think you're consuming?
A lot. Yeah, I actually got a sweat test done, which is not a super expensive thing to do. I think it was maybe like $200, and guy came out and did a little test. They put this thing on your arm, and it sweats, and then they run it through a machine, and they can figure out how much sodium you're losing in your sweat, which is the rate of sodium doesn't really change. So it doesn't matter how much you're sweating, you're still going to lose the same rate of sodium. So I'm around 900 milligrams. So let's just say a gram per liter. So if you think like one element sachet worth of sodium is how much I'm losing for every liter. So that can be, I can lose a liter up to 1.5 liters, maybe even a little bit more per hour, depending on the conditions or how hard I'm running. So, lots of sodium.
Jesus.
Okay.
And some people are low sodium sweaters, so they might only lose 500 to 600 milligrams, and other people might lose 1,600 milligrams of sodium. It's just kind of.
I didn't know there was a test for that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good thing to know if you're doing something where electrolyte levels are super important. If you're running for hours and hours or days straight, it is a useful tool to have.
You need the data.
To know. Yeah,
you need the data.
Shout out to our friends at Element.
Yeah, shout out to our friend. They were a sponsor of this show for a while, actually.
Oh, nice.
They were a sponsor. I miss them.
So yeah, it's a good thing to know. It's just another factor in the equation when it comes to just everything that goes into
you just got to pay attention to all of it.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Well, we usually often ask this question when we have musicians, bands on, things like that, but I want to ask you this question, and if you don't feel like answering it, that's totally fine. But what are your top 5 prescription drugs of all time?
Ooh. Top 5 prescription drugs. I'm gonna have to go with Purdue Pharma's 80 milligram OxyContin pill. Is just that was the greatest.
That's number one. That was
the greatest one ever made. And then I'd probably have to go with the 40s and then the 30s. So that's 3.
So this is very like the Olympic gold, silver, and metal.
Yeah.
Of course, the 80 is going to be gold, and then the 40 silver, and the 30.
Yeah.
But the Oxy is sweeping the top.
Yeah, Oxys are taking a clean sweep at the top. They're going 1, 2, and 3. Number 4 is going to have to be some sort of Xanax, just generic white bars. Maybe those were 2 milligram, 1 milligram. Can't really remember, but those would probably come in as swept fourth. And then just purely because both of my parents are also drug addicts, so I know that they dabbled over the years, and these don't exist anymore. But both of them told me that their favorite drug ever was Quaaludes.
Okay,
so,
Quaaludes.
Yeah, those are probably number 5. Just to go with a historic.
Show some love to the fam.
Historic
you know what I mean?
play. Yeah. Give the old boomers some love. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with.
Your parents are listening right now, like, oh boys, chip off the old block.
Yeah, and I'm sure I would have liked those things too.
We all would have.
Yeah.
I think we all would have. I think that's. I think also the myth is strong.
I think it's fair to say you did a better job at answering this question than anyone that we have ever asked. I could not.
Yeah, no question.
Truly,
no question.
zero notes, well thought out. You have a good diversity covering all the bases.
Yeah.
And then you rattled them off instantly and perfectly. Most people are like, oh, and then like they'll say like Advil, you know, some dumb shit.
Yeah, no, that shit. Yeah.
Oh,
I know what I like. I know
truly
what I like.
no notes. Truly no notes.
I know what I like. I know what I like. I mean, what is your, so what are you skating still? Like how often are you on like a bike or a skateboard or something that's a little more
What kind of bike? Because I'm riding a road gravel bike. I do like 100-mile rides and stuff on my bike, just as like a form of cross training. So I do spend a lot of time on the bike. I don't really skate very much anymore. Like skating is just like I'll roll around on flat ground. I like to do a kickflip once every year or so just to make sure I still got it. But I'm not
gotta
like
make sure the haters know you still got it.
Yeah. But I don't really go like sesh at the skate park anymore. It's just like I don't want to
too
get
risky.
Yeah, just one board to the shin and I'm fucked for how long? A week or two.
Mhm.
It really fucks with training. But I actually I have been like surfing and I started hydrofoiling again, if you know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't actually.
That's the Mark Zuckerberg surfing, right?
Yeah.
Where
So
you're above the water?
Yeah, exactly. It's really big in Hawaii. You ride a board.
Laird Hamilton does it, right?
Laird Hamilton, he's the OG. He kind of like, I mean, in the early 2000s, he was hydrofoiling big waves in Hawaii. But to give a kind of explanation that is understandable, hydrofoiling is kind of like the nerdiest form of surfing. Like, I feel like I get very drawn to like extremely niche types of activities with it. It's like
regular surfing's not enough. We need to go further.
Yeah,
Is there a version of this that nobody does? I would like to try that, please.
Yeah. That's what I'm into. But no, it's foiling is like kind of like weirdly the closest thing to trail running on water. Kind of, it's like a really really gnarly leg workout. You're just like pumping, riding that. You just have to look up some. I'll send you some videos, Chris, of what foiling looks like. But it's a really
what is the gear? Is it the same gear? It's just a different method, or is it different gear?
Totally different gear. Yeah, like a different kind of board. Like I ride a really really small board, like smaller than any surfboard that I own. Like probably closer to a 4-foot board rather than surfing. I probably ride around a 6-foot board. And then there's a big carbon fiber mast with a like what looks like a glider. It looks like an airplane glider kind of thing with these big wings. So that's actually in the water, which is what is creating the lift. And you're just the board is out of the water and the mast is going down into the water, and this foil is just underwater creating all of the lift and energy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you're harnessing the energy of the wave, and you really don't like you can ride waves that aren't even breaking. So yeah, it's cool.
I didn't realize that was such a workout, but it makes sense. It like as much as you push to keep going, the ocean pushes right back, and you have to absorb that, or else you fall and die, I guess.
Yeah, and then there's all different types of foiling. You can get electric e-foil boards where you just have a trigger and it has a motor in it, and that's like what
Zuck's doing. Yeah, that's what Zuck's
doing. Or some people might have like if it's really windy, they'll have a kite or a wing where they're using harnessing the energy of the wind to get them up and get them riding and going. But I'm more so into like surf foiling. So you actually paddle into a wave like you're on a surfboard and you stand up, and then you got to start get the foil out of the water and you get going and riding. And
no jet skis, no bitch shit. I fuck with it, bro. Hell yeah.
Well, jet ski. So the funnest thing to do is actually when the waves get really big is to get a jet ski to tow you into really big swells. I mean, that is like that's the pinnacle. That's the funnest thing to do.
I've been watching the new season of 100-Foot Wave, and the art of the tow in is really fascinating. To me. And how hard it is to do it right is like. It's just something like you don't.
Yeah, I worry that
about.
When you watch 100-Foot Wave, your girlfriend's just like, nope, and you're like looking for flights to Spain. Like, Portugal's nice this time of year.
Yeah, we decided that I'm not allowed to go skydiving. There's just like some things that I can't cross.
I like that you said we decided,
Yeah,
and she will like that you said we decided as well.
Yeah. So skydiving
as a team,
skydiving is a pipeline to base jumping, which I think I would fucking love to do, but yeah, it's probably not a good idea.
Let's
eyes on the prize.
Let's focus. Let's focus.
Yeah, just listen to some gnarly music instead, maybe while you do a recovery. Yeah, who knows? Yeah. Well, last question. What kind of do you listen to? Extreme music?
Extreme music, like I'm not really a big like metal guy. So I if that's what you mean by extreme music, I'm not like super into metal. I listen to a lot of rap, rock, just alternative stuff.
But nothing too niche musically, though.
Yeah, nothing like super. Nothing too crazy.
I was just wondering if that, because you said you're into a lot of niche activities and things like that. I just didn't know if that carried over.
Yeah, I'm not a huge like crazy deep hardcore head.
Got it.
Or anything, but
I know I did assume that about you based on your look.
It's the traditional tattoo.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's the traditional tattoos that I think go hand in hand with a lot of the hardcore or
100%.
Metal scene. But yeah, no, I can appreciate the music, but I don't really listen to a whole lot of it. Yeah,
no, I get it. Your life's extreme enough. Thank you, Max. It was a pleasure. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
If you guys have access to YouTube, King of Moab is there. You can go stream it now.
If you have access to YouTube.
Hopefully we see you soon.
That was a great dog. Beautiful, and happy to see OC on the big screen, brother.
Thriving, yeah. Thank you.
All right, thanks,
guys. Thank you for having me.
Peace.